what's up guys, and thanks for tuning into the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Saint Seiya Saint Cloth Myth EX Aries Mu God Cloth. But before we get started, if you haven't yet already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another awesome review. Now, starting off with the box, we see we got quite a big box here. It's very big, blocky. On the front, we have Aries Mu in his Aries God Cloth with these nice wings. Looks very, very good. Here we have a nice drawing of the Aries Object Mode, the God Cloth Object Mode. Here we see that it's from the Soul of Gold miniseries. We got Saint Cloth Myth EX. Here we got a nice little promotion, which I'll go over later on. On the top, we got Aries Mu God Cloth, Saint Cloth Myth EX. On the side here, we see the Aries God Cloth Object Mode. Very, very cool looking. Tons of character and personality in this, just in this picture alone. On the other side, we see Aries holding his helmet, looking all cool. On the bottom, we got a headshot of Aries, and as well as a bunch of warnings and things that I don't really understand. And on the back, we see more pictures, as well as some explanation. So here we have Mu firing off his signature attack, Starlight Extinction. Here we have him doing the same thing. This is the object mode, and here we have the different faces, as well as how the helmet looks on this guy. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. Very, very simple. We're going to move it off to the side, and we're going to bring in our object mode right here. So I'm just going to hold him with two hands and so we can get him in the camera and be able to stand. He actually does come with a little stand. I don't know if you can see that right there, because the weight distribution is not the best for this figure. So here we have the Aries God mode, object mode. So you got these nice little angel style wings. We got these nice big curved horns. You know what, I'm just going to bring him close. Excuse the dust, because he's been... All right, let's try that again. So as I was saying, he's been on my shelf for about 3 years now, so he's extremely, extremely dusty. But you can just take a look and see all the nice detailing here. We got the whitish gold as well as the yellowish gold here on the legs, on the horns even right there, on the wings. You got all this detailing on the back here, on the legs as well. Very, very big, thick body. And here's the other side. We can see the back. We even see some of the other detailing here on the neck and on the other leg. Just very, very cool and awesome looking. Tons of personality, tons of character. Much better than what the regular gold cloth looked like. And speaking of that regular gold cloth, I'm going to bring him in right now. So here is the regular Aries gold cloth, and as I was saying in this video as well, there's not much personality or anything when it comes to this object mode. He's simply standing in this very, very generic pose. All legs are in a straight line, and he's looking straight ahead. Nothing crazy about this. And when he transforms into the God Cloth, you see it's so much more character and just personality to the object mode even. It's putting a leg forward, turning its head, sprouting its wings, and just getting ready to take off. And I feel like that's very, very cool. So I'm going to put this guy off to the side, and let's move the object mode to the back and to the side as well, because what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in our figure. So here we have Aries Mu, and as we can see, very, very good figure. Very slender because not armored or anything right now. He's got this green jumpsuit on him. He's got this nice long purple hair, very nicely detailed, full of molding detail. He's very pale, and he's got these red dots on his head. I'm not exactly sure what that's for. See, we got these nicely detailed God Cloth feet, and yeah, pretty standard for a Saint Cloth Myth EX without the armor on. Now, in terms of stability, I'm actually gonna say he's better than the revived regular version of the Aries Mu, which I will bring in right here. So I'm gonna stand him. Let's bring in the revived version of the figure. So this is the revived version of Aries Mu that I recently just got. And if we just bring him in, take a closer look here. The face looks fairly similar. I would have to say this one actually looks a bit nicer than this one, and that's fair because this is a newer mold than this one. The rest of the body looks pretty similar. The shoulders are a little bit different, you can see that. And the feet are obviously different because this is the God Cloth, this is the Gold Cloth. And the hair is pretty similar. It's a slightly different color. This one here is a little bit paler, whereas this one here is a little bit darker. But if you look at the top here, this one is kind of straight down. This one kind of narrows and then poofs out at the bottom. But as I was saying, in terms of quality control, this is the God version right here. As you were seeing, I can shake it. It's pretty stable, whereas this is the new version. And you see how everything just drops, and that's not good, especially when the metal armor goes on. He's probably going to have a hard time standing, which I really don't like, whereas this guy here might be a little bit better off, and which is even more important because the God Cloth is definitely heavier than just the regular Gold Cloth. So with that being said, I'm just going to put him right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the armor off of this God Cloth, and I'm going to armor Mu up, and we'll take a look at how he looks with the God Cloth. So give me 1 second, I will be all right. And we are back with Mu, all equipped in his Aries God Cloth. So let's take a closer look at this guy. He's very, very, very good looking, lots of detail here, all picked out in a nice yellowish gold on a whitish gold background. So we have the similar designs to how the Gold Cloth actually looked, just much more pronounced. He's got these nice, huge curved horns, double shoulder pads, as well as this nice set of wings. It's almost hard to really describe. It almost looks like a ram horn curled up, but at the same time has like this angel kind of wing look to it. This thing is actually articulated because you can actually bend that out straight like this, and this part actually moves a little bit too as well. That's pretty cool. Oh, and the joint, you can actually kind of twist it back and forth as well as bend it up and forward and back just like that. So that's really, really nice. Now let's take a quick spin around. Now I will mention something, and that's tragedy struck, actually, as I was disassembling the object mode. The rear skirt piece, the peg for it, actually snapped off as I was pulling it off the object mode. I don't know if it's because I used too much force or I didn't pull it out straight, or maybe the plastic just got brittle over the 2-3 years that has been sitting on my shelf, but that unfortunately snapped off. I'll actually show you the piece that broke. So let's get this guy standing first. Thank you. Let's see here. So this was the back skirt piece. You can see, you have a nice little design here. And this is the peg. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that snap right off. And here is the piece that snapped off. So it would go something kind of like that. And yeah, so that snapped off. I'm gonna have to eventually find a replacement for this, but replacements for this guy are not cheap. I'm going on Amazon Japan, I'm looking, and used copies for this guy go for around 180 Canadian. And that's not including shipping, not including import fees or anything like that. So yeah, and if you're looking for new ones, he's well over like 250 bucks. So that just goes to show you, always take care of your figures and try not to break them if possible. But yeah, so that's that. Now, let's take a look at some of the accessories that actually come with this guy. Again, make sure he can stand first. Make sure these wings are... There we go. So, let's start off with some faces. And you know what? For the sake of making this video much easier, I'm going to actually pull the head off because he has a whole bunch of different hairstyles as well as faces. I'm going to pull that head off. I'm just going to bring him back to the back here so he doesn't fall over. So here we have Aries Mu. I actually have the smiling face installed on him. So what we're gonna do to change the faces, and I'll show you the different faces that he actually comes with. So this was the face that actually came on him first. Just the regular non-expressive face. We have a closed eye, smirking face. We have a open-eyed, screaming face, and this one actually looks like he's screaming rather than the Gold Saint one, which looks like he's actually kind of happy. And of course we have the closed eyes, neutral face. Now to switch the faces, what we're going to do is we're going to take this front hairpiece, we're going to pull that right off via these two pegs. we're going to pull the face off, make sure the headstock still stays to the back hairpiece, and just pull that off just like that. Let's give him the regular neutral face. So we're going to take these 2 pegs, peg them into the bottom set of holes, in just like that. And then we're going to take our hairpiece, upper set of holes, I'm just going to plug them in, and there is Aries Mu with a different face. So that's how you switch the faces. Now, let's take a look at some of the different hairstyles that this guy comes with. So, in addition to this long flowing hairpiece, he has the option of having his hair in a ponytail, kind of wrapped up. And this is actually really cool because this part is articulated. You can actually rotate it around, and there's a hinge as well. And I really, really like that. So, to switch that hairpiece, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the front and the face as well as the headstock. It's going to pull everything else off, and we won't be needing this hairpiece anymore, so we can put that off to the side. And we're just going to plug everything onto this one right here. Make sure the face actually pegs in first before the hair. And here we have Aries Mu with a different hairstyle. And that is very, very cool. I really like it how they gave us the different option of hairstyles. So there is that. I'm going to put this down for a second because next we're actually going to take a look at the helmet. So here is the helmet for Aries God Cloth. It's very similar to the one that we got on the regular Aries Gold Saint, except all of the kind of like the features are more pronounced. The horn on the front is sharper. The wings on the sides are sharper, as well as this crest, this big Spartan crest on top is bigger and sharper as well. And the jewel is now this nice crisp metallic blue rather than the greenish blue that we had before. So to get the helmet ready for installation, what we're going to do is remove these side wings. Just going to pop them off just like that. We see we get the peg like that. We're going to take both sides off. Just be very gentle. Good, just like so. I'm just going to put that down for a second. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take the head again. We're going to remove the front hairpiece. And we're also going to remove the back hairpiece. We're going to keep the headstock as well as the face. So next, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in another small hairpiece. Now this hairpiece is made just to be used with that helm. We have these 2 little pegs that are going to peg onto these little holes on the side, on the top and the sides of his head. We're going to plug them in all the way. So then we get something like this. And next we're going to take this helm, and we see we have a little peg right there that's going to go on this big hole on the top of his head. So we're going to plug that in. It doesn't really like to stay in very well, and that's where these wings come in. So we're going to plug these wings back in, and they're going to hold the head in place more or less. So the peg as well as these 2 side, I guess, face shields will hold the head in place, and that is how it looks like with the helm on. So yeah. Now to install this actually onto the figure, we actually comes with this different hairpiece. So we see there's no head hairpiece for this guy. It's just a little hole here that actually goes on the bottom of this headstock, so that when it is plugged on to the body, you can kind of see the hair flowing out from underneath the helm in comparison to this earlier hairpiece, where you see the bottom is very similar, but the top, this one actually comes with a hairpiece for the head, whereas this one does not. And now for this, you also have an option, because you also have this little piece. And you can see the top is the same and has that hole, so it's made to slide through that peg on that headstock. But the bottom here, we see we have a kind of like a ponytail elastic and a little peg. And if you're wondering what that's for this. You can actually take the bottom part of this one, you can pop that off, and then you can plug it in to this guy here, and you can have Aries Mu with the helm on, as well as a ponytail that is articulated, which I think is just absolutely amazing. I love the fact that they gave us this option. This was not present in the earlier release of the regular Gold Saint, but I'm really glad that they gave it to us in this God Cloth version. So we're going to take this headstock, I'm going to take that peg, slide it through this hole, and now we can finally put our head back on our body. So I'm going to bring Mu in close here. We're just going to line that peg up on the neck. I'm just going to give it a press, make sure Everything's nice and solid, and be careful as well. I think that's good. Should be good. Okay, so here we have Aries Mu with the helm as well as the ponytail in the back. And I think that just looks absolutely amazing. Really completes the look with that helm on. So I think that's enough for hairs. Let's get all that stuff out of the way. Next, let's take a look at some of the different hands that this guy comes with. And so he has the fists that are on him right now, and those are armored. We have, let's see here, 2 open palms for his signature attacks, 2 claw-like grasping palms, as well as 2 other hands that are kind of like claws. Now, before, for the Gemini Saga review, I actually had no idea what these were, but now I know that these are actually made for holding the helm. Now, to switch the hands on, what we're going to do is, you've probably seen this multiple times already, we're just going to pull that hand off just like so. There we go. Make sure he can stand up. We're going to take this hand armor, peel that off, and then let's give him the claw hand. We're just going to take these 2 pegs, slide them onto that, peg that on, and then we're going to peg it onto this hole here. And here we have Aries Mu with a different hand. Very, very simple to do. Very easy as well. So that is that. Let's get the hands out of the way. And we actually have 2 more little accessories that's also kind of like a cool feature. So here we see we have these 2 little pegs, and you're probably wondering, what are these for? Now, these are actually made to go with the cape that comes with the regular Gold Saint version. Now, with the earlier God Cloth releases, they actually made it so you can actually put this cape on the figure, which I think is really, really cool. However, because this cape actually came with the newly purchased revival version of Aries Mu, not the original version, I feel like these aren't really compatible because I've tried to put these on. Basically, what you have to do is take this peg hole, or this socket hole rather, and plug it onto this peg here. I've tried really, really hard, almost to the point of breaking it, and it still won't go in. I've seen other people do videos where they simply just kind of push gently and it just clicked right on. So yeah, I'm feeling that this isn't really compatible with this, but basically what this is for is if you plug this on, you would take that horn, both of these horns, pull them off, and you would plug it onto this so you can have the cape as well as his giant god horns instead of just the regular horns. Now, I'll still show you how to put the cape on, and it actually looks pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come around to the back, get this hair out of the way, and we're going to just pull this big peg on the back right off. It'll include the wings as well as the horns. So we're just gonna take a little bit of patience and time. So this whole piece will just come off just like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this big peg right here as well as these top 2 little tabs, and we're gonna fit it into this top 2 set of holes as well as that big peg hole in the middle. And we're just gonna push that right in and set that hair back. And here we have Aries Mu with the cape for the regular Gold Saint, which again, I feel is really, really, really cool. But just sad that I cannot attach these little pegs here, which will then allow us to transfer these big horns onto his shoulders. But I mean, that still looks good enough. I'm not gonna complain. So I'm gonna move everything off to the side. Let's bring in some comparisons. So here I have him next to the regular Aries Mu Gold Saint, and this is actually nice because we actually have the wings and everything removed, so it's much easier to see how these 2 can actually compare. Now, bear in mind, this one has the horns on, and these are actually the manga style horns, not the anime style horns. But let's start with that helm. You see how all the features are more pronounced on this. The horns are sharper, everything is much more pointier. And when we come to the shoulders, this one is much more spikier as well. It has a double layer. The chest is similar designs, but again, this one's picked out in a nice gold. We come down to the waist. We can see that the waist armor is very similar in shape, but the designs are a little bit different. Arms are very similar as well as the legs. If we come down, we see most of the markings are around the same places and look very, very similar. And let's bring in Aries Shion right here, which is actually Aries Mu's original master. He was the prior Aries Gold Saint to Mu. So you can see that. Very similar cloth as well. We got the big horns, except he's actually wearing a surplice, which is the armor of the warriors of Hades, god of the underworld. And I will go into that as we take a look at him in later days. But now you can actually just kind of see how these actually look. We got the god, we got the gold, and we got the surplice version of the Aries cloth. Very, very cool. So we're going to put this guy off to the side. And we're also going to take Aries Mu. So we're going to put him here for a second. What I'm going to do is cut the video. I'll put the wings and the horns back on this guy so we can take a better look at how these guys compare. All right, so here I have the wings installed back so we can actually take a better look at how these guys stand next to each other. Let me just hold this guy real quick, and same with him. See with the horns how these horns are so much bigger, sharper and better, as well as with detailed and markings compared to this guy right here. Very, very cool. So I'm going to put him here. I'm going to take the regular gold and I'm going to put him off to the side. And here we're going to bring in another gold god. And here is what I took a look at prior. This is Capricorn Shura. So here we have the two gold gods next to each other. And again, they look very, very cool. Different designs, but still very godly altogether. I think the wings of these guys, I think, is just the main selling point. Definitely the best part about these gold god figures are the different style wings. And they really kind of bring out the personalities of each character and their specific zodiacs as well. So yeah, let's move Shura off to the side because this review is about Mu. And with that being said, I am pretty much done. So just some final thoughts about this figure. It's a very, very nice figure. If you are trying to find this guy right now, he is extremely hard to find. As I mentioned, new copies probably go for around over 250 bucks, US or Canadian, and that's not including shipping, taxes, import fees, or anything like that. Even used copies can probably go for around $200. So yeah, if you are trying to look for him, definitely don't wait, go as fast as you can. There are some alternative kind of, I would say, like knockoffs, and those are definitely cheaper. I can't really say anything about the quality because I never purchased anything myself, but if you are kind of out of options or you don't really want to spend all that money for something like this, you can definitely go that alternative route and buy those copies as well. But in terms of the figure itself, very, very nice designs. The joints are a little bit loose, especially in the legs, as well as that torso. So yeah, I definitely do enjoy this figure. He's a very good addition to my gold cloth or gold god cloth collection. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.